Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Diversity Do podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist, award winning author, and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And for those of you who are interested in even more positive and encouraging tips and strategies beyond what I share in podcasts like this, then feel free to check out my award winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, nationally recognized for the unique way in which it addresses the often difficult topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. Designed for more than just therapists, if you're a helping professional in any way, diversity in clinical practice can help you meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And it's available in paper and audiobook versions for your convenience. If you haven't heard it yet, I invite you to visit TED.com and check out my talk called What to Do When You Offend Someone, where I offer a positive and practical perspective on how to navigate unintentional offenses in daily life. Today, it's been offered and viewed over 500,000 times. Check it out for yourself, and if you're encouraged by it as well, share it with a friend. And whether it be through my one on one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author and speaker, know that my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. So, today, I want to share with you an encouraging perspective about LGBTQ History Month. If you aren't aware, October is LGBTQ History Month, a time to increase your awareness of the history, achievements, and contributions of those in the LGBTQ community. Separate from Pride Month, which occurs in June, acknowledgement in October aligns with the National Coming Out Day on October 11th and the anniversary of the first LGBTQ March on Washington in 1979. So the question then is, what does that have to do with you? Well, to the many of you who are listening to this podcast who do identify as being part of the LGBTQ community, this is an opportunity to see yourself as a part of a greater history, acknowledging those who came before you and exploring ways in which you can be a part of history and pave the way for those who come after you. And for those of you who do not identify as being part of the LGBTQ community, it is an opportunity to intentionally increase your awareness as well as the distant and recent historical experiences of those in the LGBTQ community, as well as explore what role you can play in the experiences of those around you, as well as the experiences of those yet to come. As this is hopefully neither the first nor the last discussion of this topic you will hear, then I'd like to share just a few considerations that you can have over the next month to support your continued increased awareness in the LGBTQ community. Consideration number one. Despite an abundance of progress, inequities and discrimination continue to be experienced. On one hand, there's been a significant amount of progress made as it relates to individuals in the LGBTQ community feeling accepted and included in many aspects of society in ways that were unfortunately not experienced in the past. From laws criminalizing same sex marriages to exclusion from the military and many more, the default reality of hiding one's identity to have a chance at a healthy life in many ways has changed. And yet, unfortunately, in many ways, inequalities and discrimination continue to negatively impact lives everywhere. For even as laws change granting equal rights regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity, individual and business decisions near and far continue to fight against those rights. This includes, but is not limited to, discrimination in hiring practices, housing practices, discrimination in healthcare, with other people getting the right to determine what someone can or cannot do with their own bodies, or even pathologizing mental health wise, anything that is outside of someone's personal norm. And then there is the devastating persistence of hate motivated violence against those in the LGBTQ community. Or even if you're not surrounded by it on a daily basis, or no matter how hard people try to explain away why violent acts that occurred for every other reason other than their sexual identity or sexual orientation or gender identity, the fear of merely existing persists for so many in the LGBTQ community. So much so that many feel as though they only have two choices of either to hide their expression of their complete self just to keep themselves safe and have a chance at what they believe to be a healthy life, or to learn to live the best life they can proudly, accepting the risks that may come, but believing that they would rather live a short but full life than live a longer life in hiding. Even as these are just two of the many possible responses to life's uncertainties and inequalities for many in the LGBTQ plus community, it's worth acknowledging that so many have overcome these unearned struggles and have thrived in ways that have helped them live a healthy life, and many others who have impacted their community, the country, and even the world. The second consideration is this: representation still matters. To complement a previous Diversity Do podcast where I shared some highlights of notable historical figures in the LGBTQ plus community and their impact on society, I'll add this insight. And that is that even those who never make the news or well known to the masses can have a great impact on increasing exposure and awareness for the LGBTQ plus community, their contributions, and their overall experiences. So often people draw skewed conclusions, primarily out of ignorance, simply not having ever known someone personally who identifies as being a part of the LGBTQ plus community can leave one to draw conclusions based on only what they hear similarly ill-informed people say near them, or based on what they read online, or the infotainment news, or in broader media as a whole. However, if you have the pleasure of meeting someone who identifies differently than you, then it can have a potential to contradict skewed perspectives and can help you think when necessary. Well, I hear what you're saying and what you want me to believe based on the music and the movies and the news, but I know someone, two someones, five someones in that community, and that doesn't represent them at all. And it's because I know them and because they have allowed me to get to know more and more about them over time. I'd rather base my decisions based on them, not the messages that I hear from folks with an agenda. Similarly, and more importantly, representation can be a great source for the LGBTQ plus community to learn about who they are. For the more you see and learn about experiences of others, the more you can determine how much and how similar and how different your life can be. Let me be clear. This is not about seeing more options to choose from, but rather seeing and hearing how other people keep themselves safe and when they feel safe to have to do so in the first place. And hearing how people describe themselves to others in healthy ways and with healthy responses received so they can personalize what they can say and learn how to be received from what's modeled, regardless of how it turns out. And of course, representation also helps combat stereotypes regarding any limitations placed on those in the LGBTQ plus community regarding what they can and cannot do. Nothing contradicts proclaimed stereotypes better than seeing possibilities lived out in real life. In this way, everyone in the LGBTQ plus community has the opportunity to be a historical figure in someone's eyes. For whether near or far, someone is watching how you live in your life. And in doing so, you are expanding people's minds regarding what's possible just by doing something intentional every day. And then there's consideration number three: practical allyship is still needed. Just as representation can have a significant impact on those who wish to follow in or exceed their footsteps, seeing someone do what some say can't be done, so also can being an ally have a significant impact on those who will be very much appreciative of the reassurance that you will have, at least not to contribute to the barriers they seek to overcome. But even better will be an allyship effort you can offer to increase acceptance and inclusion in your personal and professional environments. Without a bullhorn or a platform or a significant leadership role, you can help those who don't feel or legitimately aren't being heard. You can help them have their needs seen, heard, and ideally met, not as some special treatment over someone else, but at the same level as everyone else, with the same rights, a right many have not consistently experienced over the years. Sometimes allyship is about supporting legislation and voting, and other times it's simply utilizing inclusive language and consideration of pronouns that reflect a person's identity, even when it's inconvenient to do so. With all this in mind, my hope for you is that you would see LGBTQ plus History Month as an opportunity to learn something new, without turning this into an effort to burden someone around you with the responsibility to teach you all about them. You can start by listening differently to what has already been expressed around you. And alongside of your efforts to wrestle with political party affiliation expectations or religious faith beliefs and responsibilities, you could take the time to learn about the real people around you and those who are far away and the care they deserve to be treated with, just like you. Regardless of what you do next, your efforts to even try to do this is unfortunately more than what many people are willing to do. I hope that the impact you have can be what the future history is made of. And with that, I'll say thanks again for listening to today's Diversity Do podcast. If you have any pressing diversity-related questions that you'd like me to address on an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of a shame-free and empowering guest speaker or training on this often sensitive topic, then feel free to reach out to me directly at diversitymadesimple.com. And if you know of anyone else who can benefit from a positive and encouraging perspective on this often difficult topic of diversity, feel free to send them a link to this podcast so that they can be encouraged as well. Or share with them my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available at Amazon.com. And don't forget to visit TED.com and check out my talk on what to do when you offend someone. I hope it inspires you and that you share it with someone else so that they can be inspired as well. And as usual, I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in future podcasts to help you improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this. You don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast-quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
When I walked across that stage at my high school graduation, I was excited, but confused about my next step. Then I walked through the doors at Doherty Family College. Doherty Family College is part of the University of St. Thomas. It's a 2-year college that lets you earn an associate's degree and puts you on a path to your bachelor's degree. Classes are small, so I have a personal relationship with professors committed to my success. Like the name says, they treat us like family. They call us scholars because they believe we could do anything we put our minds to. They set us up for excellence with free tutoring, and that's not the only thing that's free. Laptops, books, even breakfast and lunch, and bus fare. That's part of the package here at Doherty Family College. It's even free to apply. So do like I did. Go to dfc.stthomas.edu and set up a tour. We'd be excited to welcome you to our family here at Doherty Family College.
What's up, everyone? It's Shaletta. I'm here getting a phone for one of my newly minted teenagers with Xfinity Mobile. They've got great options, affordable plans, and solid coverage that works for our whole family. With Xfinity Mobile, my daughter can stay connected with me wherever she goes. And did you know when you sign up, you can get an extra phone line free for a full year? Switch to Xfinity Mobile today for more savings, more smiles, and more ways to stay connected.